Space Jam: A New Legacy is the long-awaited sequel to the cult classic 90s kids movie Space Jam, and this time around was directed by Malcolm D. Lee. So I had pretty much no expectations heading into this sequel. I thought it might be a sort of fun, not very deep follow-up to a sort of fun, not very great under-the-surface kids movie from the 90s. I expected to like Space Jam 2 about the same as the first, seeing how I don't have any strong feelings towards the first movie other than pure nostalgia. I can admit it doesn't hold up all that well to rewatch, but it's still a very fun movie from the 90s. It's very much a 90s kids movie, and I feel like it's one of the better examples of one of those. However, I'm not going to be doing any beating around the bush, no other bullshit. Space Jam: New Legacy was not good. Was it one of the worst movies I've ever seen? Absolutely not. It was too... There were plenty of worse movies to have come out this year, and even for a dumb, squeaky clean family movie, it's inoffensive enough. But man, this movie in particular really got under my nerves. The fact that the entire movie is just an advertisement for Warner Brothers movies really left a bad taste in my mouth, seeing how they did a much better job of doing this 3 years ago with Ready Player One. That was not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it was an extremely entertaining one and used all these IPs from the quote Warnerverse in a very fun and nostalgic way. This movie just plastered a bunch of references to any and all media under the Warner umbrella and basically says, look at how great we are. Come check out these other movies. Constantly shoving the advertising down your throat. It made the movie pretty much hard to sit through at times. It was painful to see these advertisements. The animation style also really isn't the best. It looks like one of those Looney Tunes shows that would air on Cartoon Network during the daytime, made for absolute dirt cheap. And when the tunes go full CG, it just does not work at all. I really hate the animation style and just the overall look of this movie. I could honestly go on and on about specific problems like that with this movie for days. The main antagonist is corny as hell and is a complete waste of Don Cheadle's amazing acting chops. The humor is never funny at all, it drags for way too long. The conflict never feels like it has any stakes. The movie is so clearly written by 6 people, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand when movies do stuff like this. Scripts should not be written by 6 different people. It just does not ever pan out. Anyway, there are so many flaws and mistakes with this movie, but honestly, it never got me riled up. I was not ever actively making fun of the movie or in awe at the stupidity on the screen. Yes, this was a dumb movie, but I don't know, I never found myself having fun with how dumb it was. There may have been worse movies to have come out this year, but Space Jam 2 is the most boring film I've seen all year. The lack of any real effort or creativity throughout this one just really bored me to absolute tears. Almost forgot to add, while this is not the fault of the man himself at all, LeBron James cannot act for his life. He comes off as super mean-spirited and kind of a dick, when I feel like he was supposed to be a strong father figure who was just being harsh on his kids. When he wasn't being a total douche to his son, he just straight up did not give a performance. Michael Jordan also really didn't know how to act, but at least he had some charisma and made it work in the first Space Jam. LeBron just gives absolutely nothing here, and it's one of the worst acting performances I've ever seen in my life. The entire movie just feels super disingenuous and not by people who had an appreciation for the first movie. It just feels like a cash-in from Warner Bros. And nothing more. And honestly, I wasn't expecting too much more out of this, but I still feel pretty disappointed. Space Jam: A New Legacy is not worth your time whatsoever, and I'm going to give it a C-. Sorry for the shorter review here. This movie just almost gave me nothing to talk about. This was not a very good movie, but I will have better reviews out for you guys later. But other than that, thank you for watching.